It starts as a whisper, usually at 3:14 a.m. The digital clock on your nightstand stares back at you with unblinking red eyes. The rest of the world is asleep. The streets are quiet. The house is still. But inside your head there is a riot going on. You are staring at the ceiling, watching the shadows form shapes, and you are not in your bed. You are in a courtroom. You are replaying a conversation you had 5 years ago with an ex-partner, thinking of all the witty things you should have said. You are analyzing the tone of an email you received yesterday from your boss. Was that period at the end of the sentence aggressive? Does "let's chat later" mean you're getting fired? You are simulating a catastrophe that might happen next Tuesday. You are calculating your retirement savings and realizing it's not enough. Your body is lying in a soft bed, safe and warm, covered in high thread count sheets, but your mind is running from a tiger in the jungle. Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweating. You are exhausted. You are desperate for the mercy of sleep, but the voice in your head will not shut up. It chatters, it judges, it predicts, it regrets. And you think to yourself with a heavy, sinking heart, "There is something wrong with me. I am broken. My brain is defective. I have a disease." We live in a culture that pathologizes the human experience. We have a label for everything in the diagnostic and statistical manual. If you are sad for more than 2 weeks, you have a disorder. If you are energetic, you have a syndrome. And if you think too much, if you feel too deeply, we tell you that you are anxious, that you are neurotic, that you need to be fixed, silenced, numbed, or medicated. We treat the mind like a malfunctioning machine that needs to be beaten into submission. We treat our own interiority as a problem to be solved. But before we go any further into the labyrinth of your mind, I want to invite you to do something. If you have ever felt like a prisoner in your own skull, if you have ever felt that your intelligence is a curse rather than a gift, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Join us. Not as a number in an algorithm, but as a fellow traveler. We are building a sanctuary here for the people who are awake in a sleeping world. We are building a tribe for those who hear the noise but are seeking the sense. Now let us look at this disease of overthinking. I want to offer you a radical proposition. What if I told you that overthinking is not a sickness? What if I told you that your anxiety is not a sign that you are failing at life, but a sign that you have a high-performance engine that you simply haven't been taught how to drive? Imagine giving a Ferrari to a person who has only ever driven a tractor. They would crash it. They would be terrified of its power. That is you. Your mind is a Ferrari. You are just revving the engine in neutral until it overheats. You see, the problem is not that you think too much. The problem is that you identify with your thoughts. You believe that the voice in your head is you. But it isn't. The voice is just a biocomputer generating data. It is a survival mechanism that has evolved over millions of years to look for threats. You are the one hearing the voice. You are the witness. In the West, particularly in America, we are raised on the philosophy of René Descartes, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. We believe that our existence is tied to our thinking. We believe that if we stop thinking even for a second, we will cease to exist. We equate intelligence with constant mental activity. So we think compulsively, we think defensively. We use our intellect as a shield to protect us from the unpredictability of life. We believe that if we can just figure everything out, if we can just anticipate every possible outcome, we will be safe. Look at how you live your life in the corporate world. You treat every situation like a 4D chess game. Before you go to a networking party, you rehearse what you will say in the shower. You script your jokes. Before you send a Slack message, you draft it 3 times, delete it, rewrite it, add an emoji to seem friendly, delete the emoji to seem professional. After a Zoom meeting, you spend hours dissecting every facial expression of your colleagues. Did Sarah roll her eyes when I spoke? Did Mark look bored? You are constantly trying to control the future by simulating it in your mind. This is what I call the paralysis of analysis. You are like a centipede who has been asked by a frog, "Pray tell me, which leg do you move first when you walk?" The centipede stops. He thinks about it. Which leg do I move first? And as soon as he thinks about it, he falls over. He can no longer walk. You have forgotten how to walk through life because you are too busy analyzing the mechanics of your steps. You have forgotten how to live because you are too busy thinking about living. The pain you feel, the tightness in the chest, the shallow breathing, the constant hum of dread in your stomach is caused by a feedback loop. It works like this. You have a thought. Let's say, I might lose my job. This is just a thought. It has no mass, it has no reality, but your body reacts to it as if it were a physical threat. Your amygdala fires, adrenaline floods your system, then you notice the fear. You feel your heart racing and your mind says, "Oh no, I'm afraid. Why am I afraid? I shouldn't be afraid. What if I have a panic attack right here in the office?" Now you are afraid of being afraid. You are worrying about worrying. You are thinking about thinking. This is the trap. You are trying to use your mind to fix your mind. It is like trying to smooth out rough water with a flat iron. The more you press the iron down, the more you disturb the water. The more you try to force your mind to be quiet, the louder it screams. It is like shouting, "Be quiet," in a library. You are just adding to the noise. You cannot stop thoughts with more thoughts. It is impossible. It is like trying to bite your own teeth. It is like trying to look at your own eyes without a mirror. The mind cannot catch itself. The knife cannot cut itself. So what is the alternative? If we cannot stop the thoughts and we cannot fix the thoughts, are we doomed to suffer forever? No. The alternative is to change your relationship with the thoughts. Imagine you are sitting on the porch of a beautiful house in the country. It is a warm summer evening. You are sitting in a rocking chair with a glass of lemonade. In the distance, there is a highway. You can hear the cars passing by. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Some are fast cars, some are slow trucks, some are loud motorcycles. Do you run out into the road and try to stop the cars with your bare hands? Do you get angry at the cars for existing? Do you try to analyze where every driver is going, what they are wearing, and why they are driving so fast? No. You just let them pass. You acknowledge the sound, but you remain on the porch. The traffic is the traffic. You are you. You are the observer on the porch. Your thoughts are the traffic. They are just noise passing through the landscape of your consciousness. They are not facts. They are not commands from God. They are just mental events. Neural sparks. Oh, look, there is a thought about my ex-partner. That's a loud truck. Oh, look, there is a thought about my bank account. That's a fast motorcycle. Oh, look, there is a thought that I am a failure. That's a rusty old sedan. You do not have to invite these thoughts in for tea. You do not have to argue with them. You simply watch them go by. This is the ancient art of non-attachment. It is not detachment which is cold and unfeeling. Detachment means you don't care. Non-attachment means you care, but you don't stick. You don't cling. You are like a mirror. A mirror reflects fire, but it does not burn. A mirror reflects a knife, but it does not get cut. A mirror reflects a pile of manure, but it does not get dirty. Your consciousness is the mirror. The thoughts are just the reflections. But why is this so hard for us? Why are Americans in particular so prone to this mental agony? Because we are addicted to control. We live in a society that sells us the illusion that we can optimize everything. We treat our lives like a project to be managed. We have apps to track our sleep cycles, apps to track our calories, apps to track our steps, apps to track our fertility, apps to track our screen time. We believe that if we just gather enough data, if we just think hard enough, if we just worry enough, we can eliminate risk. We can cheat death. We can avoid pain. We can ensure that we never get our hearts broken. Overthinking is simply the ego's desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable. You are terrified of the unknown. You are terrified of the void. So you try to fill the void with noise. You try to solve the future before it arrives. But the future is a ghost. You cannot solve a ghost. You spend hours worrying about a conversation that hasn't happened yet. You build an entire courtroom in your head where you are the lawyer, the judge, the jury, and the defendant. You rehearse your defense, you cross-examine the witnesses, and then, when the real conversation happens, it goes completely differently than you planned. The person smiles and says, "Sure, no problem." All that energy was wasted. All that suffering was for nothing. You paid interest on a debt you never owed. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, talked about the shadow. The shadow consists of all the parts of ourselves that we repress, deny, or hide. In our culture, we repress uncertainty. We repress failure. We repress the irrational. So when we overthink, it is often our shadow trying to get our attention. The thoughts that scare you the most, the intrusive thoughts, the dark thoughts, they are just the parts of you that are crying out to be seen. If you push them away, they get stronger. Whatever you resist persists. Look at the animals. Look at your dog. Your dog does not overthink. When your dog is hungry, he eats. When he is tired, he sleeps. When he is happy, he wags his tail. He does not lie awake at night wondering if he wagged his tail too much yesterday and looked desperate. He does not worry about whether he is a good boy in the existential sense. He does not worry about his 401k. He is fully present. He trusts his instincts. He is connected to the ground. We have lost that trust. We have severed the connection between our heads and our bodies. We live entirely in the penthouse of the intellect, and we have forgotten the foundation of the gut. We are heads floating on sticks. You think you are smarter than your body. You think you can think your way out of life. But life is not a problem to be solved. It is a reality to be experienced. When you are eating, just eat. Taste the food. Feel the texture. Don't eat and worry about the emails. When you are walking, just walk. Feel your feet on the ground. Don't walk and listen to a podcast about how to be more productive. We are so afraid of silence because in the silence we have to face ourselves. We use noise, internal and external, to distract us from the void. We are terrified that if we stop thinking, we will find out that we are empty inside. But the void is not empty. The void is where the peace lives. The void is where God lives. There is a concept in Zen called mushin, which means no mind. It doesn't mean you become an idiot. It doesn't mean you become a vegetable. It means you act without hesitation. It means the gap between the impulse and the action is removed. Think of a great basketball player like Michael Jordan in the middle of a game. He is not thinking, okay, I need to bend my knees at 45 degrees, calculate the wind resistance, and release the ball with a velocity of... No. If he thought that he would miss, he just shoots. He is the flow. He is the action. The dancer becomes the dance. You have moments like this too, maybe when you are driving on a winding road and you just instinctively turn the wheel, maybe when you are playing an instrument, maybe when you are making love. In those moments, the noisy voice in your head shuts up, the commentator disappears. You are not thinking about living. You are living. You are fully alive. The goal of spiritual life is to make your whole life like that, to live in a state of flow, to trust that you will know what to say when the time comes to speak, to trust that you will know what to do when the crisis arrives. You don't need to rehearse. You are built for this. You see your anxiety as a lack of faith, not faith in a religious God, but faith in yourself. Faith in your own organism. You don't have to tell your heart to beat. It beats 100,000 times a day without you managing it. You don't have to tell your lungs to breathe. You don't have to tell your stomach to digest your food. You don't have to tell your white blood cells to heal a cut. A magnificent ancient intelligence is running your biology without your conscious permission. If this intelligence can grow a baby from a single cell, if it can spin the planets around the sun, Why do you think you need to micromanage the rest of your life? Why do you think you need to strangle the world with your mind? Let go. That is the hardest and most necessary lesson. Let go of the need to know. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to be safe. Safety is an illusion. You are on a rock spinning through infinite space at 67,000 miles per hour. You are not safe, you never were, and that is okay. Because you are not the fragile body you think you are. You are the awareness that witnesses the danger. You are the sky, not the cloud. There is a beautiful story about a man who goes to a sage and says, "Master, my mind is a torment. It is like a cage of drunken monkeys. They are screeching and fighting and throwing things. Please give me a mantra, give me a technique to quiet them." The sage says, "Okay, I will give you a technique, but you must promise me one thing." The man says, "Anything. I will do anything to stop this noise." The sage says, "You can do anything you want, but do not think of a pink elephant." The man laughs. "That's easy. I never think of pink elephants." He goes home, and of course for the next week his life is a living hell of pink elephants. He sees them everywhere. He dreams about them. He eats his breakfast and sees a pink elephant in his toast. He cannot stop thinking about them. He returns to the sage, exhausted, dark circles under his eyes. "I failed. I can only think of the elephant. I am worse than before." The sage smiles. "You see, the effort creates the obstacle. By trying to push the thought away, you glue it to your forehead. Stop trying not to think. Stop trying not to be anxious. When the anxiety comes, treat it like a guest. Say, 'Hello, old friend, you are here again. Okay, come in, sit down, have some tea.' Feel the anxiety in your body. Get out of your head and into your body. Where is it? Is it a knot in your stomach? Is it a heat in your throat? Is it a fluttering in your chest? Don't call it anxiety. Call it energy. Call it sensation. Call it vibration. When you take the label away, when you take the judgment away, it is just physics. It is just life force moving through you. It is uncomfortable, yes, but it is not fatal, and it is not a disease. It is just energy that wants to move. It is actually a sign that you are waking up. The fact that you are aware of your overthinking means you are not your thoughts. If you were your thoughts, you wouldn't be able to observe them. The camera cannot take a picture of itself. The eye cannot see itself. The part of you that says, "I am overthinking," is the part of you that is free. That is the witness. That is the soul. That is the Atman. Rest in that witness. Identify with the witness, not the noise. When the storm comes, be the mountain, not the weather. The weather changes, the clouds scream, the lightning strikes, the rain floods, but the mountain sits. It does not argue with the storm. It does not try to soothe the storm. It waits. And eventually the storm runs out of energy. The clouds part, the sun returns, the mountain is washed clean. Your mind is the weather. Your awareness is the mountain. You have spent your whole life trying to control the weather. You have spent your whole life yelling at the clouds. Stop. Be the mountain. This is not a quick fix. We Americans love quick fixes. We want the 5 steps to stop overthinking forever, or the 7-minute abs of the soul. We want a pill. We want a hack. But the mind is not a toaster you can fix. It is a garden you must tend. Some days there will be weeds. Some days there will be storms. The practice is to return again and again to the present moment, to this breath, to the sensation of your feet on the floor, to the sound of my voice. The past is a memory. It is a trail left in the water by a boat. It has no power to steer the boat. Only the rudder in the present moment can steer the boat. The future is a fantasy. It cannot hurt you because it is not here. There is only this, just this. The hum of the computer, the light in the room, the beating of your heart, the rise and fall of your chest. This is where your life is, not in the simulation in your head, but right here. And here in the now, there is no problem. Look around you right now. Is there a tiger in the room? Is the house on fire? Are you starving? Probably not. In this exact nanosecond, you are okay, you are breathing, you are conscious. It is only when you leave the now that you suffer. So come back. Come back from the timeline of your mind. Come back to the sanctuary of your senses. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are simply a vast, infinite consciousness that has squeezed itself into a tiny, fragile ego, and the fit is tight. It's uncomfortable. It chafes. Your overthinking is just the friction of your soul rubbing against the limitations of your ego. It is the sound of your spirit wanting to expand. So let it expand. Let the thoughts run wild like children in a playground. You sit on the bench and watch. You don't have to police them. You don't have to arrest them. They will get tired eventually. You are the sky. The thoughts are the birds. Let them fly. They leave no trace. The sky is never hurt by the birds. The sky is never stained by the clouds. You are the sky. If this message has brought a moment of quiet to your noisy skull, if you feel a little less alone in your head today, please do not just click away to the next distraction. Stay with this feeling. And consider subscribing to this channel. This is not just a YouTube channel, it is a signal in the noise. It is a reminder of who you really are. Share this with someone who is up at 3 a.m. tonight. Share this with someone who is suffering in silence. We are all in this together, trying to find our way home through the fog of our own minds. But the fog is lifting. The sun is rising. You are waking up, and you are and always have been perfectly whole.